everyone, welcome back to Unmatched, day 2 of the Global Innovation Forum in London, and I am so excited to be able to speak today to a wonderful entrepreneur. His name is Kaeden Patel, and he's the CEO of the Sustainable Squad. Kaeden, welcome.
Thank you.
And his amazing parents, welcome as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's so great to have you here, and I was so inspired by your presentation earlier, and I would love you to just introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what you do.
Well, I'm Kaeden Patel. I'm 14 and I'm a teenager in London. I love sports. I play cricket mainly. I'm one of the prospects in the country for cricket. I love to have fun, and I run a project called the Sustainable Squad where where we the 12 characters who all play cricket and are all in sustainability, and they're on a mission to save the world. So these 12 characters are in the team, and they have a game, there's books, and so much more.
So how did you come up with this idea? And I want to extend the question to you, but also to your parents, to understand what motivated you to come up with such a project, which is so not only ambitious, but, for a 14-year-old that could spend, his time on video games and other things. Why is this important to you?
Well, as a kid, in my presentation, I said me and my 3 sisters, we had Give Free Lunch, where we raised money for starving children in Africa. So I loved that as a kid, and coming to the end of it, I became the CEO of it, so I had a bit of experience with that. And previously, in the past 2 years, I was homeschooled, so I had the idea to come up with a project I could do as myself. And I was just thinking, what could I do that I already know about? Sustainability, which I love. And then I wanted to incorporate cricket, which is my favorite thing. And then, I came up with that. And as I love, so the sustainability, I added it. And then,
Amazing. Does it run in the family? I know that you have a bigger family, sisters, I heard. Is this something that you noticed in their generation, that they're interested in sustainability, entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. I think that there is a situation that no other generation has really grown up with, this idea that the planet is declining, and growing up with that as a part of your lived experience is significant, and they have to lead the way in how to make this change and live differently, and how to live in ways that do less damage to the planet in ways that no other generation has done. I think that it is, we have raised and nurtured children in this Gen Alpha generation better, but there is a lot of work to be done in terms of their awareness. And that's what Kaeden in the Sustainable Squad is all about, is children voicing their concerns, children coming up with solutions and a way to engage other children, their peers, their colleagues in ways that parents just cannot. And I think it's the way of the future. Actually, it's the way of today, the present. This is what we have to do.
Yeah, this is what we need. And it's interesting because we just, I was telling you before, we just launched a report at Unmatched about Generation Alpha and the fact that sustainability is one of the most important aspects for them to focus on. So I was so interested to get your opinion, Kaeden, on, do you see that among your peers? Do you see that as a point of interest, around you, with your colleagues, with your friends?
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
Sustainability, is that something that you see your friends and colleagues and peers being interested in as well?
Yeah, because when I recruited, because from my school, I was asking around, and there was a lot of kids who wanted interest in that. I wouldn't say kids are mainly focused on that. They'd rather do other stuff most of the time. But I think they always have that in the back of their mind. Like, as younger, I was inspired by Greta Thunberg, who was a massive activist on climate change. So I think kids know and want to make a difference through sustainability, but I think a lot of kids also would rather do other things like gaming, playing sports, and stuff like that. So there's a mix of it.
How did you come up with the name? You were telling me earlier.
So I used ChatGPT mainly because I came up with the idea during homeschooling, and I used ChatGPT to come up with a few ideas, and I maneuvered the name out of that.
Very cool. Nimesh, you were saying earlier, or I think Kaeden was saying earlier in his presentation, that you have a company, you're helping Kaeden with this project, and you're using AI with what you're doing in your company. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're collaborating?
Yeah, so Kaeden, when he started homeschooling, Kabuni is an innovation platform where we were experimenting with spatial computing, hence my question earlier on. And Kaeden was partially homeschooled in virtual reality. And we had kids around the world that would use our platform, and Kaeden then connected with his co-founder in Singapore that he still today has never physically met. And now there's 11 kids together working on this project. So that was my small contribution towards, Kaeden being given an environment where he can try and solve the problem. And I think for me, the end result isn't important. I think he said something telling on stage that give us a chance or a platform to kind of solve this problem. And the very first speaker talked about giving children a problem and slowly moving away and put the right guardrails around it. What is my son going to be 10 years from today through just this experience today?
Yeah.
What if every young teenager had a chance to speak at every conference that we have in the world? What voice can we give? 1% change is required for giving this next generation a chance. That there's too much pro and anti. Is the science right? Is the science wrong? I think, look, we can argue both sides. There's a problem. And I think this generation, give them a platform to solve it, would probably solve it.
And I think it's so important what you're saying, because oftentimes we see in younger generation this idea of trying to, not fit in, not mold into whatever the society is telling them to. And it's so important for us to just step away and let them figuring out and let them also have a chance at solving important problems that we have out in the world. And I think Kaeden is such a wonderful example of this. What's your observation as a parent or as parents in collaboration with him and the kids around him with regards to what they're achieving through this project alone?
There's 11 kids around the world, a kid from Texas to a kid from Singapore, and some of his school friends. For me as a father, it gives Kaeden a set of friends that are connected to a very serious set of values, right? Yes, he makes mistakes. Yes, he plays cricket. Yes, he gets into trouble. But in the Sustainable Squad, there's a group of children that meet once or twice a week, and they're trying to solve problems. We've just put mentors around them. So we have a really simple rule. We won't do it for you. We'll teach you how to fish. So if they want to code, they have a coding teacher. If he wants to pitch, he has a pitch coach. And these are a group of mentors that are willing to teach his next generation how to solve that one problem that they're trying to solve. So I'm just, I've never seen him publicly speak. He's seen both his parents speak a lot. Where did that boy arrive today? Because what he did on stage for the first time, many adults can't pull off. And that for me is a big win today.
Absolutely.
That's a huge win. I mean, the confidence that's going to give not just him, but his 11 co-founders that might get on stage in another part of the world, or he might get invited somewhere else. So I enjoy the journey versus the outcome. And you have a little bit of hope that the outcome may bring some solution that makes this planet better.
And I have to say, as a mother, I'm so inspired by what you guys are all doing. So thank you for this. Nina, what's your observation or your hope?
Yeah, I think what I'm excited about with the project Sustainable Squad and what he's achieved is that he's set up his own levels and measures of success, and he's had failures. But those definitions of failures of success were set by him, not someone else's expectations of what he was supposed to do, what he's supposed to, not do, what's right and what's wrong, what's perfect, what's 100%, what's not. And he defined what success looks like, and he's striving for it on his own terms. And he's found like-minded peers who want to be on that journey together and are ready to fail together and are really going to enjoy it when they have success. And certainly today, everyone's celebrating their success and speaking here at the summit or the conference.
So last question for Kaeden. I have 2 kids, Noah and Axel. Noah is 6.5, Axel is 4. And I want to bring a message to them back home from you. What should I tell them?
Try and make a difference, but if you're not having fun, there's no point. Because if you're not having fun, you're not putting hard work. Because if you're not having fun, it's just not like you're not putting all you want into it. So make sure you're trying to do something important or make a difference, no matter how big or small, but make sure it's enjoyable. You bring your favorite aspects into it. Because without that, I wouldn't be able to start this. I wouldn't still enjoy it. If I didn't have cricket, sustainability, having fun, that's how I bring this all together and made sure it was enjoyable for everyone.
Thank you so much.
And I want to add to that in closing, is just sharing my journey with him. I was too hard on him on the first year, 18 months. I come from a lifelong of being an entrepreneur, and the bar that you set as an entrepreneur, you've got to create revenue, you've got to create a product. And it wasn't till about 6-7 months ago, I was having a walk and talk with him, and our relationship was kind of getting a bit in conflict. and I forgot that he's not having fun. And I was mortified that my own behavior will kill this project. And we flipped the KPI from revenue to sales to just building community, having fun. And it just changes project.
And the funny thing is, because you're talking to a marketer that is all obsessed about community, and our platform Unmatched is all about the collective intelligence and the collective work, is that once you focus on that, the revenue comes.
Correct, yeah. Yeah,
That's
so
where
we
the
removed
magic
that.
comes.
Yeah, that's where the magic comes.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time. So inspiring to hear you talk today. All the best with your project.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope to watch you make that difference out in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.